Okay, good evening, everybody. Thanks for hopping on. I see we still have folks jumping on. Know that this webinar will be available through Sunday. Again, everyone has to register to be able to watch it either live or taped. And then after that, we'll archive it. So it's really important. We do track these things, but we also want to be able to provide you with all the education possible. Before we begin, I'd like to recognize the members that are on video right now: PJ Colello, Rob Gross, Greg Height as our education committee. And we meet often with Tommy Abbott to make sure we provide you the latest and greatest. So let's talk about the test. Sorry for the delay, but there's a lot of glitches in hierarchy that sometimes we deal with. We anticipate that being out in the next 24 to 48 hours. When that comes out, the due date for NILOA will be January 30th. Arbiter will probably extend a little bit longer. But if you only want to take it one time and you're a member of Arbiter, do it before the 30th, because with NILOA, you have to have the test completed before you work. So make sure you take care of that. And that way there's no glitches and everything. We've all seen a lot of COVID updates. We've seen a lot in the news related to what's happening in each state, colleges, schools, high schools, you name it. The bottom line, one of your tickets to be assigned, more than likely a requirement of every conference and every university and college that we service, will be fully vaccinated. And that definition is to be boosted when available. So if you have your 2 shots of Moderna, you got to wait 6 months to get your booster. You're considered fully vaccinated until you can get that booster, and you have to get that right away. Pfizer's 5 months, J&J is 2 months. So make sure that you do your homework related to whatever you've decided to do vaccination-wise, and understand that's the opportunity to work. No one here is telling you have to get a vaccine, but the schools and conferences are mandating what needs to happen. And Tommy will touch on that when he gets things near the end of our presentation. For those that are on that may not be able to attend a district meeting and you've talked to your governors, we will on the 31st air a webinar that will include one of the videos we're going to show today and additional stuff. So you still have to attend that to meet the requirements, because everyone in the district meetings is going through that process. And congratulations to all those who attended the national conference in Baltimore, because we spent a great day educating throughout, great fellowship the night before. So that was pretty awesome. So one thing, when we start the video, you may see a list of us as panelists, whether we're on video or not. If that's in your way, up top on the left-hand corner, you'll see a single little pane and then a double pane, et cetera. If you hit that single, it'll minimize that and maximize your viewing area. So with that said, Tommy, I'd like to turn it over to you to introduce the video.
Thanks, PA. That was really good about talking about vaccinations and all that. That's a big part of what we're dealing with in the signing world right now. It's pretty crazy. The video was produced by the NCAA again this year. It's about 17, 18 minutes long. So what we'll do is show the video. Greg's going to show the video, and then afterwards, I'm just going to run through the Reader's Digest version of what I covered in Baltimore. And after that, we'll talk about a couple brief things and hopefully have this thing done and out of here in about a half hour to 35 minutes. So Greg, if you want to go ahead and start that thing, we're ready to roll.
Welcome to the 2022 preseason NCAA men's lacrosse rules and officiating video. This presentation contains significant rules changes for the upcoming season, points of emphasis, and officiating guidance. Numerous video examples have been selected to illustrate and enhance the understanding of the rules for officials, coaches, and student athletes. Rules changes with future implementation dates. Due to the financial impact of COVID-19, the Playing Rules Oversight Panel delayed all rules changes, except those related to health and safety, that were set to go into effect during the 2020-21 academic year to the 2021-22 academic year. As a result, the rule requiring every institution to have 2 shot clocks that can be set and reset to 2 different times will go into effect at the start of the 2022 season. Beginning January 2022, field players must wear shoulder pad protectors certified to the NOCSE Commotio Cordis protective device standard at the time of manufacture, or they must wear an alternative protective device certified to the NOCSE Commotio Cordis protective device standard at the time of manufacture. For both goalkeepers and field players, this requirement could be satisfied by wearing an undergarment under the chest protector or shoulder pads, as long as the undergarment meets the NOCSE protective device standard for Commotio Cordis. It is important to purchase all necessary equipment as soon as possible, given potential delays in the supply chain. Commotio cordis, though rare, is a typically fatal condition caused by the impact of a high-velocity object to the anterior chest, causing cardiac arrest and death. Newly developed performance standards for chest protectors can mitigate or eliminate the risk of this preventable condition. Points of emphasis. Cross inspections. The Rules Committee would like to remind coaches and officials that all crosses are subject to inspection, including the face-off player's cross, throughout the duration of the game. It is the expectation that officials will be inspecting crosses to ensure that the cross is legal for play. Sportsmanship. The Rules Committee urges a continued commitment by coaches, players, and administrators to uphold and respect the game to the highest level, both on and off the field. A continued commitment is needed to ensure that all participants are working together to foster good sportsmanship and to continue to promote a positive image for our game. There is no room in our game for taunting. The official in the following clip correctly administers an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the player in blue. The goal counts, but the player in blue will serve a full minute, and the ball is awarded to white without a face-off. Bench decorum. For several years, the committee has reminded coaches and players to remain in their respective areas on the sidelines. The committee is noticing a troubling trend across all divisions, with players standing too close to the boundary lines and coaches entering the field of play. Coaches and officials are instructed to work together to ensure that coaches and players remain in their respective areas. With each institution now required to have 2 shot clocks that can be set, reset to 2 different times, the Rules Committee established a 60-second reset when the offense retains possession in the offensive half of the field for certain situations. A valid shot retained by the offensive team in the offensive half of the field. New this season, the following 2 clips demonstrate a valid shot being taken by the offensive team, and the offensive team retains possession in the offensive half of the field. The shot clock will be reset to 60 seconds. In the following clips, regardless of the time on the shot clock, if the offense retains possession in the offensive half of the field after a valid shot, the shot clock will be reset to 60 seconds. If the offensive team retains possession on a valid shot in the defensive half of the field, the shot clock shall be reset to 80 seconds. Change of possession. In this clip, an illegal screen is called. The team in blue obtains possession, and the shot clock is reset to 80 seconds. Regardless of the time on the shot clock, a change of possession will always result in an 80-second reset. The following clip has an 80-second reset since the team in white obtains possession and quickly loses possession to the team in red, who gains possession and receives a full 80-second shot clock. Slow whistle flag down. The shot misses the goal and goes out of bounds. The offensive team retains possession of the ball because of the penalty. Since the shot clock was between 60 and 80, it will be reset to 80 seconds upon the restart. In the following clip, a flag has been previously thrown and the team in white chooses to use the entire shot clock. A shot misses the goal and goes out of bounds with 3 seconds remaining. After the foul is adjudicated, the shot clock will reset to 60 seconds, as it was below 60 seconds when the stoppage occurred. Loose ball technical. In this clip, the team in white is on offense. A loose ball push is called on the team in red. At the point of stoppage, the shot clock is at 53 seconds. Since the stoppage of play occurred with the shot clock under 60 seconds and the same team retained possession, the shot clock shall be reset to 60 seconds upon the restart of play. Defensive injury. If there is a stoppage of play for a defensive injury, the shot clock shall be reset to 60 seconds if the shot clock is at or below 60 seconds at the time of the stoppage. If the shot clock is above 60 seconds, the reset shall be 80 seconds. Plays around the crease. In recent seasons, the committee has made rules changes for plays around the crease area by allowing offensive players the flexibility to be creative while attempting to score. The game has seen exciting plays and increased scoring. The committee then added field markings at the goal mouth area to clearly define the space where goalkeepers play their positions and clarify penalties for illegal contact by both defensive and offensive players. The following clips are designed to further clarify these types of plays. Legal goals with no contact by the defense. The following plays are examples of good goals where an offensive player dives or lands in the goal crease but outside of the goal mouth. Legal goals with illegal contact by the defense. While a goal isn't scored, this clip demonstrates the offense attacking the crease and a shot is released. Illegal contact occurs by the defense prior to the release. The hold shall result in a time-served foul for the defensive team. Had the goal scored prior to the offensive player contacting the crease, the goal counts and the penalty would have been wiped off with a face-off at midfield. Illegal dive with no contact by a defender includes players rolling into the goal mouth late. Defensive contact with no fouls. The following clips are examples of illegal goal mouth plays where little or no contact is made by the defense, and the offensive player's momentum carries them into the goal mouth, resulting in a turnover. The Rules Committee wanted to further establish the protective area of the goal mouth for the goalkeeper by establishing a clearly defined area for offensive players to take paths that will not carry them into the goal mouth. Defensive contact and fouls administered. The offensive player is not allowed in the goal mouth under any circumstances. No goal and a time-served penalty on the defense. Illegal contact by the defense. Offense lands in the goal mouth. Good goal. In the following clip, the defense makes dead ball contact after the ball is in the goal to the offensive player. This should be a good goal even though the offensive player landed in the goal mouth, since the contact was late during a dead ball scenario. Illegal dives with contact on the goalkeeper. The offensive player dives toward the goal mouth and makes contact with the goalkeeper. Should the offensive player initiate direct or deliberate contact with the goalkeeper, a minimum of 1 minute shall be assessed to the offensive player based on the severity of the contact. Face-off mechanic. Due to COVID-19 last season, the committee approved a waiver to establish the following face-off procedure for officials to conduct quick and efficient face-offs. This waiver will be extended for the 2022 season. Officials should put the ball on the ground and back away. Instruct the players to go down for the face-off. Both players shall immediately align correctly. Officials shall give the set command and then blow the whistle to start play. Officials are being asked to have zero tolerance when players are not aligned properly. The committee wants to remind head coaches, players, and officials that the overriding principle of the face-off is to play the ball. Players are required to stand as they get into the face-off position. In addition, all fingers of both hands shall be gloved and wrapped around the cross. The head of the cross and the gloved hand shall be touching the ground. The hand closest to the throat shall be in a palm-up position. A player may not withhold the ball in any other manner. Helmet-to-helmet contact during the face-off is a serious concern. Bodily contact on the face-off. The player in green moves his foot under the cross of the player in white. The officials correctly call a face-off violation for the player in green. The ball is awarded to the team in white. Face-off holds. The following clip is an example of a hold. This type of play is concerning because the offending player is not playing the ball, but instead playing the man. Cross-to-cross contact is legal, but cross-to-body contact isn't. Cross-to-cross contact. In the following clip, both players come down together and a clean face-off occurs. There is legal stick-to-stick contact to create a loose ball. The player in white uses his free arm to ward off the opponent. The official makes the correct call and awards possession to the team in red. Slashing. In the following clip, the player in white slashes the player in green. Contact around the head and neck area is a concern for the committee, and the official correctly adjudicates this play. Holds. The following examples are holds where the defensive players wrap around the offensive players to obstruct their movement with the stick. The officials correctly adjudicate these plays. Targeting. Lacrosse is a physical sport. That said, contact must be within the guidelines of the rules. The player in green targets the player in white towards the head and neck area. There is no room in our game for these types of hits. These types of plays will always warrant multiple minute penalties. Officials are encouraged to consider ejecting the player in green for this type of hit. Illegal check. In the following clip, the goalkeeper comes out and illegally checks an offensive player in the head and neck area. The officials correctly call an illegal body check and a full time served penalty. This concludes this video presentation. We leave you with another reminder why NCAA lacrosse is so exciting. Thank you for your attention and good luck.
TA, you're up.
Good deal. Okay,
Hey, TA,
guys.
real quick.
Yep.
There are now 517 people on. When we first started this, the number was 460. Please make sure, for those of you who got in late, that you go back and watch the beginning so that when we see the results of this, we can see that you watched the whole thing, or you're not going to get credit. You're not going to get credit for the full meeting. So there's about 70, almost 70 people who logged in late. Please go back and watch the beginning. Thanks. Sorry, TA.
No problem, PJ. Thanks. I actually got a couple texts from guys that said they were trying to get in. So obviously it's a little different system than what we used before. So there's always glitches with technology. So it is what it is. Long story short, I'm going to keep this in the Reader's Digest version. It'll be a lot of the same stuff that I said in December at our December 4th meeting, but I just want to cover the items real quickly that we saw in the film. Commotio cordis equipment has been a hot topic over the last couple of days. As of this morning, it's still required. Obviously, with shipping issues and whatever else coming down the pike, the NCAA is looking into it. Their medical folks are looking into it. There's actually a survey that's going to be taking place right now, I think, with the MCLA to get all their coaches on board to figure out where their manufacturers are and what teams have it and which ones don't. So you may see something come up on that might change things, but at least for right now, it's still there. Our way of doing this is coaches certification only. Basically, we're not going under equipment to look at under jerseys to look at equipment. We're asking coaches if their team is properly equipped, and they're supposed to say yes or no. The response is yes, we play. The response is no, we probably don't. But there'll be further clarification on that at some point soon. Cross and equipment inspections. The only point I want to make here is we are taking face-off guys in part of our group, part of our inspections during the game. Try to get at least 5 or 6. There's no definite number anymore, but get as many as you can and take face-off guys. Sportsmanship and bench decorum has been in this video for as long as I've been around the sport. And I think as long as any of us have been around the sport. I remember Warren talking about it 3 or 4 years in a row. We cleaned it up for a while, but it's always going to be there. Part of what the committee wants to do this year is make sure that we keep the benches back so that the coaches can stay off the field. Teams get up too close to the sideline, coach gets on the field. He blames it on his team, but in reality, his team is supposed to be back. So let's do what we can with it. The helper on the faceoff on the right, who's the bench side helper, can do this before every faceoff. So make sure we get that taken care of in those situations. The trail can also do it as he's coming up the field if there's no real action in front of him before he points to everyone and says under for 60 seconds on our clears. This is a big deal. They want to make sure this is cleaned up. So we need to do due diligence. We've got the tools to do this, so let's do it. Face-offs was in the video. Obviously, everything's going to be the same as last year due to the COVID waiver. We're still in the same boat with COVID right now. Hopefully it'll pass soon. The important part is the ball's on the ground first. You say down, they come in, you step away, you say down as you step away, you come back in, look over the top, and vary your cadence on the whistle. In any case, we want to look for holds and withholding, as you saw in the film, and make sure that that's the case. Let's talk about real quick on goal play, crease play. I don't want to cover too much of it. The kicker here is just make sure that if the offensive player ends up in the goal mouth, that we're taking the goal away in just about 95% of the cases. If we do that consistently, the rule will be called in the way that they want it, and offensive players will learn that they can't go there. Targeting, you saw the targeting hit at the end. That play was pretty vicious. It's a play that we have to deal with and make sure that we make calls. You notice that the verbal that was there was officials should talk about ejection or consider ejection as part of this play. Anytime you got a hit like that, you're going to get together with at least one of your other partners. You're going to discuss it and make the proper call. I think the committee's looking to make sure that these hits, these high hits that are targeting head and neck, are called with multiple minute fouls and not just a 1 minute deal. So let's use the tools we have and make sure we do that. Greg, I'm going to ask you to put up the shot clock stuff now. We have a memo for shot clock. So if Greg could put that up so you guys can at least see that. Perfect. Essentially, I tried to keep this really simple for you guys. It's as easy as we can make it. It really is not a big deal. We did it in the fall. A lot of us did it in the fall. The reset to 60 has some people spooked, but it's really not a big deal. Upon possession or a change of possession, the shot clock always resets to 80. So when you're on a face-off, it's going to be at 80. So we don't need to do a shot clock reset on our signals. We're just going to call possession and wind our arm like we always did. The example I used was team in white has it, they lose it. Team in red gains possession, we go to 80 seconds. And the signal for 80 seconds is the reset signal from previous years, followed by the push up to the ceiling, which is a play clock one that football uses. We only use it a few times, and I think the shot clock operators are going to know right away how to do this. The important part of this rule is the second one, which is highlighted. The rule was put into place to reset the shot clock to a lower number, which is 60 seconds, when the offensive team regains the possession of the ball in the offensive half of the field after taking a valid shot. So teams use their first 80 seconds to clear. They've done their offense. They take a legitimate shot. The ball hits the pipe or the goalkeeper, and the offensive team is trying to score. In this case, the shot clock is going to be reset to 60 seconds, and our reset signal is just the reset signal. and then point the direction of play would probably help. If there is no valid shot, the shot clock is going to continue to run. When it's a valid shot, it hits the pipe or the goalie. The shot clock operator hits the button and freezes it. So the clock's not running. That's an important part that we need to know as we go through the thought process of this. So we're not going to use a reset signal. Example is in some of the videos, one of the guys asked in the December meeting, why didn't the shot clock face-off kid won the face-off, went down, took a shot, why didn't we reset it? Well, we didn't reset it because it didn't hit the goal. It wasn't a valid shot. So it stays where it was. It's only done on a valid shot, but this is why they put the rule in. So an offensive team didn't get the entire 80 on another reset. Okay, there's an exception to the valid shot rule. Greg, if we could have you scroll up just a little more. Good, that's great. This is when the ball returns to the defensive half of the field as a result of a valid shot. It hits the pipe or the goalie and goes over the midfield line. The clock's going to reset to 80 seconds with whatever team gets it back there. On a valid shot, the clock's not running, so whoever picks it up in that other end of the field is going to get 80. If the offensive team gets it in the offensive half, it goes to 60. The rest of the rules for shot clock are real similar. Shot clock's going to reset to 60 seconds. If the shot clock was at or below 60, and the shot clock's going to go above, if it's above 60 seconds, it's going to reset to 80 in the following situations. Loose ball technical foul, which you saw. Defensive team pushes, goes to 60 if it's below 60. If it's above 60, if it happens early in the shot clock between 60 and 80, it goes to 80. Same for flag down on a slash. We're not stopping the clock. We're not resetting it. It keeps continuing to run. Defensive injury, if you stop the clock, the reset of the shot clock is determined by the time that's at the stoppage of play. So essentially, those are the real simple things to try and remember with shot clock. There are some other nuances that Brian and I talked about in the last couple of days. You may have some simultaneous fouls. If it's in the defensive half and you're going to have to clear it, just remember they got to clear it. It goes to 80. Outside of that, those are the simple rules to remember, and it's not that difficult. You can probably take that down now, Greg, if you want. I want to talk just real quickly now about schedules. This will be a fast discussion here. We had hoped to have the schedules out for just about everybody, obviously, by this time of year. We got thrown a little curveball with what Brian had said earlier about vaccinations. So we had to shuffle the deck. Fully boosted means fully vaccinated means boosted. So we made a couple of changes in ZebraWeb at the time that we heard it. This happened last Thursday when the NCAA came out with their language and recommendations on fully boosted. So last Thursday, as a result of that, last Thursday or Friday, we changed in ZebraWeb the profiles for everybody to go in and put in their dates of their vaccination. We also, in the last 48 hours, have changed that profile page to allow you to put in your booster shot and when you got it. And that's important. Part of this whole mess is trying to determine who had COVID and when. If you have a medical excuse and you have a medical discharge from your doctor, we need to know that. So you'll be 90 days exempt at that point. So we need to know when you come off COVID, when you're cleared, and when you can be back on the field, and when you have to have your booster shot if you haven't had it yet. So there's some complicated issues with trying to keep track of all that. I got to commend all of you guys for doing an awesome job with it. We've been, as the RAs and the signers have been in the system and checking on our charts, we've been calling guys and emailing guys. You guys have been tremendous. I'm really proud to know all you guys. This is referees. It's important to do this, and you've all done a really great job of responding and doing the things that you need to do to get that list correct for us. I have a joke. It's I like the Cleveland Browns, and what Rich Wanninger has done in the Division I group is, for some reason, he made it Cleveland Brown orange or Texas orange, burnt orange, for the color for fully boosted. So when that whole chart is Cleveland brown orange, I'll be a happy guy. So, and I think the rest of us will too. So the schedules had to be a little bit adjusted based on that and when guys got boosters. So we're rotating a little of those scrimmages around now. I hope to get all the D1 scrimmages out within the next 24 hours for the month of January. We will follow that up with games in February really quickly after that. And like Brian said earlier, it's important to get those tests done in a timely fashion so we can keep assigning guys to the games. We'll move forward with the rest of the schedule, hopefully when this thing calms down in another month or so. And that's about all I have, Brian. I know it's like 9:37. I promised 9:35, so we're pretty close. That's pretty good for me.
Oh, we started at 9:02, so that's pretty good.
Perfect, right on.
We had one quick question on the signal for 80. It is, we would reset and then push up.
Right. Everything is reset. Every time we do a reset, it's this. If you go to 80, you push up afterwards. And I think you're gonna find that most timekeepers are gonna know that. I said in December, the time that it gets to be kind of hairy is when there's a clear that's coming up the field and you're somewhere near 60 seconds and there's a loose ball and you got to push or whatever. Kill play-ons fast in this scenario. Kill them quick, put the ball on a stick. Play-ons were designed a million years ago for trying to eliminate all the horns that we had at the time, because you had a substitution on every whistle. So they were put in to give a team an advantage. If there's no advantage on anything, kill it. Kill it quick, put it in the stick, get the clock right, and restart it correctly. And be careful and don't rush. Just like we said for years, don't rush when you're near the table area. Take your time and get it in the right spot.
TA, I think that answers another question that came through. You know, you have a play on at 62, it only lasts us 2 seconds, you're at 60. Well, if you're at 60, you're at 60.
Right.
Okay, it's just like the clear. Okay. Yep. So if we kill it quick and we're aware of the clock, we want the advantage to go to the team that was offended.
Right.
So that's where we want to kill that quickly. So
100% quick. You want to make sure you get that right, especially in that scenario. Yep.
All right, gentlemen, we appreciate your time. If you had anyone that had any struggles logging on, have them shoot me an email. I'll compile them all. We'll look at those issues. Again, for first go around on this platform, they have 524 live, and then we'll hit our recording. We're on pace to what we did last year, if not even better. And Greg, I'd like to appreciate you and everything you did helping us in the background with all the Zoom stuff. And you are incredibly valuable to what we do.
Thank you.
All right, man. Have a great night. Take care.
Have a great night, guys.
All right, guys. I'll let you know when the video is compiled and ready to go. And I'll pull that report.
We'll follow up, you know, with some emails, phone calls, get it tight, and then because we got to put out another one Monday.
Yeah.
All right, great work, guys. Thanks.
Have a good evening, everybody.
Right.